Hello. Welcome to my blog and YouTube channel. Teach yourself test automation. You know why we're doing this just now. I'm a test analyst. I am teaching myself some new skills. So grading my skill sets, right? So that I can stay competitive with what's out there in the market, right? So, and I implore you to do the same, right? We are on, I've had to revisit day 17, right? Because I wasn't happy with the example that I used. So we are revisiting day 17. So this is about handling dynamic dropdowns with Selenium Webdriver. Okay. So we are on day 17, even though we are on day 25 by now. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you see day 25, right? But I am reworking day 17 because I wasn't, as I say, enthralled with the example I used. Okay. So Kevin Owasuito here. Sorry, I've been away for a while. I was taking care of some other family business, and but I am back to be consistent, to be persistent. We are going to trash this scripting with automation scripting by the weekend or by inside next week, and move on to framework, right? So creating an automated framework from scratch, right? So that's the next challenge, and it's all going to play up in front of you here because I'm going to also record that, and I'm also going to you're going to see that video by video and blog by blog as well, right? So creating an automated framework from scratch, and it's going to be with Selenium as well, right? So back to today. Today is how to handle dynamic dropdowns, right, using Selenium Webdriver. So the first question you ask is, what are dynamic dropdowns? So let's go to the website we're going to use as our example website, okay? Which is SpiceJet. Yes, SpiceJet. Sorry. So this is a website for booking flights and booking hotels and holidays and stuff, right? So this one is for flights, right? So you're flying from one city to another city, right? So if you click on the from text field, so just click on that, it brings a drop down with a list of cities to fly from, right? But if you do the same thing and click on the to text field, it's blank, right? So this is why you term this dynamic dropdown, because it's user driven, right? So the user is driven by user action. So the action I do from the in the from text field determines the action in the to text field, right? So let me show you what I mean. If I select a city here, so let's go for Chennai. See what happens? The to field that was empty before now has selections, right? So that's a dynamic relationship between the two fields, right? So that's what you mean. What do you mean by dynamic drop downs, right? So let's drop in there and see how we could automate this, right? The selection of what I've just done just now, right? So let's automate that. Okay, it's straightforward. A little bit you have to use indexation, but you will see that when we come to do it. Okay, so let's jump into Eclipse. We want to right click on our project folder. We want to go new. We want to create a test case, right? So let's just go by, let's say, dynamic drop down, and then we click on public static void main. Don't forget that. And again, as we normally do, our first common code to all test scripts that we write, first two, I'm holding up 3. First 2 is your setting of the system properties, and then you're also making drivers an object, right? And then there's a third one also, which is launching the URL you want to use, right? So let's revisit one of our old test cases, and we take those 3 codes, right? So we don't want to waste time typing all that out again, right? So copy that, head back to our dynamic drop-down test case, test script, drop that in there. We want to take this URL out, which was for Amazon, and we want to put our Spice Jet. Copy, head back to there. So that's us, right? We are on Spice Jet now, right? So we want, if you see the action we did before on the so let me refresh this, right? So the first action we want to automate is clicking in the from field, right? So that's the first action we want to automate, right? So we head back to Eclipse and we automate that. Okay, so it'll just be driver dot find element by. So it's the chance for us now to head over and inspect our element, which is the from text field. So we inspect the from text field and we see what sort of locator strategy we're going to use, right? So we've got an ID here. So the tag name is input, right? And then we've got ID. So hopefully we can use the ID because it doesn't seem to be. It looks like ID is the same as name. Right, let's try the ID. Okay, so we copy the ID and we head back to our script and we say find by ID, open close, double quotations, and then we put in our ID and then we say dot. The action we want to do is click. Okay, so that's us. We have clicked into the from field, right? Where we are flying from. We've clicked into that field. So what we want to do now is actually select the city we are flying from, right? So we'll close this and we go for, as we did before, we go for Chennai, right? So you right click on Chennai and inspect Chennai as an element, right? Let's see what strategy we want to use for determining, automating the selection of Chennai. So we've got class is to tip, right? Okay, so we've got value here, right? So we could use value. So we'll copy this. We could use value and create an XPath, right? So you know how to do this, right? Create an XPath, so you can just validate it straight away. You just go Control F, that opens your wee box here to type your XPath, your CSS, and any strings, right? So we can just validate straight away. So we go here. We know our tag name is A, so and then our value is MAA, right? So we just write the syntax for XPath and substitute those attributes in there. Okay, so we'll go // A open square brackets iterate value. So the syntax for this is on my website, on my blog, right? So you can see that, right? Equals to open and close single quotations and then close the square brackets, and in here we want to put MAA, right? And if you see there, it goes 1 of 1, so it's seen just one selection, right? And that is our Chennai. So we copy that. Now we want to go and automate, right? Write code to automate the selection of Chennai as our city to fly from, right? So we'll go driver dot find again, right? So we are finding this time by XPath, right? You want to type by first, right? Then dot XPath, right? And then you have open, close, double quotations, and in here we want to put our XPath, and what do we want to do again? Click again, right? Click, right? So let's run this quickly, right? And then we'll see what happens, right? So let's go for it. Wow, it was taking too much time. I spoke too much, right? At the start. I wanted this video to be short. So right now we're doing a selection from text box. We select Chennai, right? The city to fly from. So the first action, click in the from text field. Boom, it's done. Select Chennai. Boom, Chennai selected, right? and as soon as Shana is selected, the cursor moves to the to text field and displays the options, right? Displays the options to be selected, right? So the next thing that we want to do is, because our drop down for the to field is already selected, we just want to determine what city to fly to, right? So we'll take our example one here. So we selected Chennai. Now let's say Delhi, right? We fly to Delhi, right? So if we inspect Delhi, I think it's just going to be the matter of replacing. Maybe I'm jumping ahead, right? Yeah, I just thought that it's the same thing, right? Because that's what the developers do here. They don't make code complex. They just use the same code and then just change a few values, right? So to use Delhi, we'll use this same one here and just change the value in there to DEL, right? So if we change that, right, let's just change that and go to DEL. You see, this is why this is dynamic, right? As well, not just the only reason. The reason is that it's action driven, right? You select from one drop down and then it determines when the properties are displayed on the next drop down, right? And then here also, if you see this, selecting Delhi from this tells you that is one of two match. So if we use that XPath, it's not going to work the way it is, because you remember Selenium scans from left to right, right? Even though this box is not open, if I open it now, there is also a Delhi in here, right? So it's finding the Delhi that's not displayed, as well as this Delhi. So it's going to the first field and locating that Delhi. And if you run it that way, it will tell you that the object cannot be found, right? So how do you go about selecting the second Delhi? So the second of this one of two, right? That's where you use indexation, right? You use indexation. So by using indexation, you just wrap your XPath, so the current XPath, you wrap the current XPath in brackets, like so. Like so. And then you use indexation, so you just square brackets, open and close, and in there you want to type in 2, right? And you see that it goes 1 of 1, right? So if we use this now to select our Delhi in the to field, it will go now to the to field to look for Delhi rather than going to the from field, right? So let's put this in our script and find out if it works. Okay, so all we want to do is driver, same thing here, right? Dot find, right, by dot, we want to go XPath again, right? And I want to go open close double quotations, drop it in there, and then click, right? So this is it. Let's find out if it works. So we've handled a little complex situation there with indexation, right? So let's see if it works. So this is part of the challenge, right? Just need to know how to get around these little things, right? So if this works, don't forget, if you find this valuable, if you find it useful, comment, like the video, and subscribe to the channel, okay? So show some support. So let's go for it. This is it. Selected Chennai. We did select Delhi. Selected Delhi. You see? So that's it. That's how you handle dynamic drop-downs using Selenium Webdriver with Java, right? And I know we have done some selections on how to handle calendars, right? Selecting dates on the calendars in subsequent videos. And also I will make more videos around calendar selections, right? And we'll do some end-to-end exercises at the end of when we've covered all the topics, right? And then we can do some end-to-end exercises that you can use in interviews and all that. Okay, so thank you for watching. Again, if this has been useful to you, as in sharing my learnings with you, Don't forget to subscribe, share this video with someone you feel will benefit from it, and like the video, comment, show your support. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support always. My name is Kevin Omasuitoy. I'm out. I will see you on day 26. Okay? Sorry about the confusion. Thank you, and I will see. Bye.